Hello and welcome back to the E70M garage. I recently upgraded the headlights of my X5M to the LED headlights, and there was a bit of a process to getting that done. These are OEM headlights, so you have to rewire some things and probably change the FRM as well. FRM is the FRM module. Unfortunately, I am done with the upgrade. I have put everything back together, but there were a few of the folks who asked me questions about, what the process was or what did it entail. So I thought I'll just make a short video here, just kind of putting it out there. So before I actually jump into what needs to come off, I did want to show this. This is essentially the part list for a retrofit. You need a retrofit wiring harness, naturally the LED left and right. You have 5-way miniature connector, and then you have a blade terminal fuse. You need 2 of them. You need a bunch of cable ties because there is a wiring harness that needs to be run from both headlights to the FRM module on the driver's side and to the fuse box on the passenger side. So you need a cable tie to actually tuck that wire with the wiring harness that's already there. And then you need rivets. These are plastic blind rivets. And if your X5M is not optioned with the headlight cleaners, you would probably need those as well if you are installing that. All right, anyway, so getting into what does it entail in terms of what needs to come off. So starting off, you need to loosen up the bumper. Bumper is held down by a couple of screws around the edges here. I think there's one up here, there's one down there, there's one in here for the fender liner, and then there are a couple of these blind rivets. There's another 8mm screw behind this that needs to come off, and then you can just pull this out. So once this part is out, the V-large trim or the fender line V-large trim has to come off. This is held down by these blind rivets. I think there are 7, 8 of them, and how they come out right in the center is where I used a pick and I pushed that piece inside, and that would naturally make the rivet come out. So once you have this fender flare out, you also need to, before you actually pull it out completely, you might have to remove part of the side skirt. And side skirt, again, has an 8mm screw right underneath here, and then it's held down by clips. There are some that are right underneath, and then there are some which are along the underside of the door here. Once that is all out, you would need to remove the fender liner. The fender liner is in 2 pieces, the front piece and then the back piece. In my case, I only removed the front piece. I did not completely remove the rear piece, partly because the strut EDC module connectors sit right on top of the fender liner. And then I did not want to pop those out because I wasn't sure how they're held down. I did not want to break anything. So while having the rear piece hanging, I had plenty of space to run the wire through. So I was good on that. And then your headlight has, so once you have the fender liner off, on the front, right above the cooler, so there are coolers on both sides. I'm not sure which one is which, but right above the cooler is a bracket, which is like in a T shape, which is held down on 2 towards the body, and one piece is kind of poking out towards, sort of holding this fender and the bumper and the rest of the parts here. It's hard plastic, and that's probably one of the parts that was a pain to remove. You might need a pry bar or something to actually push it out of the screw, and then as soon as it comes out of the screw, then it's pretty much, it doesn't have that much of stress for it to give you any trouble. So it just comes out. I will throw a photo here of what does that look like, and then I can point out on the nut and the screws that are holding it. Once you have that piece out, on the inside, I'm not sure if I'll be able to show the current lighting, but I'll show on this side. Right here, there's another one right over here. These two have to come out for that piece to actually be removed, because without removing that, you cannot pull the headlight out. So headlight will be pushed in from the front and go into the fender for it to come out. So it kind of goes backwards. And then your headlight is held down by 4 8mm screws. Once you have the fender liner off, you have a very clear shot at all of them. It's not too hard. I was using a stubby ratchet to kind of get in there. Very easy, I would say. And then in terms of the headlights, so this, I believe, is the right one. So 2 screws up here, and then there are 2 at the bottom. So one is straight in the front, and one is from the bracket that is the hard bracket I was talking about. The headlight bolts into that as well. So in terms of the wiring harness, I think these instructions came in very handy. They do not come with the retrofit kit, but somebody provided me the link and I downloaded it. I will see if I can put it somewhere on my Google Drive or something where you guys can access. So this lays out each of the wire and where does it need to go. And then it would also show you pictures of what box are you looking at and what connector. I think this was, I mean, before actually me getting started with doing it, I was really worried that I'm going to screw up the wiring. But these instructions were very good. I think these really helped me. So anyhow, so you have to go through these, get the wiring and all that stuff done. Once wiring was done, oh, I have this written as no oil when I did an oil change. Okay, so once you have that, you would, if you have an FRM that was for the xenon headlights, not the LED headlights, you'll have to probably, upgrade or change the FRM as well. This is my old FRM. It says 43 right here. The new one that I have installed, it says 44. And then the headlights and the FRM came off of the same car, so I did not have to code anything, and everything works perfectly. Also, I'll throw it out there that there are some aftermarket options which are exactly the same as these, and similar output as well in terms of the light, low beam and the high beam. But the only thing they're probably missing is just this lettering here, which says BMW Adaptive LED. But that's about it. Otherwise, they look exactly the same. And I think this is an amazing upgrade. Ever since I bought this X5M, I had seen the LED headlights, and I was on a hunt to find a used set which I can retrofit at some point. But here they are. I think they have completely changed the look of the front of the truck, well, truck or car. I think it'll look pretty amazing. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments. And as always, please do hit subscribe and let me know if you have any feedback. Thank you so much.